Hi folks, welcome to Crisco's Corner. Unfiltered commentary, and not your truth, the real truth. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support. Welcome back. Oh, you guys are going to love this one. Greenwald and others pan to Vice News for report on trauma journalists experience after surviving the Capitol riot. Oh, no. Do your flipping job or get out. I like that. They've been traumatized. It's, let's read on. Vice News commemorated the 6-month anniversary of the January 6th Capitol riot with a report documenting the journalists who survived that day and how they're still struggling when some media critics found the piece overwrought, to say the least. It's amazing to me. Glenn Greenwald mocked CNN's left-wing media guru Brian Stelter for tweeting how he wished he had thought to write this story. He also ridiculed the cover image of the report that featured Jake Angeli, best known as the QAnon shaman, and how journalists survived the insurrection. Yeah, remember that guy with the Viking horns on and the tattoos and the face paint? That's the insurrection. Those are the people that were going to overthrow the United States government. You got to be shitting me, right? He also wondered if journalists affected by the January 6th riots bothered to compare their trauma to what WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange has experienced in recent years. The reporters who survived the insurrection are still covering Congress, but things don't seem normal. It's amazing to me. Yeah, this is the guy they're scared of. The guy with the red, white, and blue face paint with Viking horns. Now, if he was at a Vikings game, standing in the stands, nobody would give a damn. I mean, he's just a nut. Look at the guys wandering around. Half of them got their cell phones out just taking pictures. Oh, God. This is the cover image for the Vice article on how journalists who survived the insurrection are dealing with trauma, anxiety disorders, and insomnia and therapy. Oh. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Oh, my God. Wonder what would happen to them if they were report from war zones or stand down authoritarian governments trying to imprison them. Well, if things go the way they're going, it won't be long before that happens. I also wonder if they ever take a few seconds to compare their trauma to Julian Assange. According to the report, Punchbowl News co-founder John Bresnanen, who witnessed the chaos fueled by the pro-Trump mob. Ooh. Sorry to keep doing that, but I have to make fun of this thing because you know what? Here's the deal. Who you associate with in your personal friendships, these guys are marshmallows. They're cream puffs. But here's the deal. If there was a zombie apocalypse tomorrow, this guy would be the first one to go. Who you pick as your friends when all the world goes to crap, those are the strong people. Pick those in your personal friendships, not these mentally and physically wusses. Oh, God. According to the report, John Bresnanen, who witnessed the chaos fueled by the pro-Trump mob, said returning to the Capitol after the riots was difficult, and he was so angry the next day. Yeah, they acted like assholes. They busted up the place, caused a bunch of damage, probably set back the Trump agenda, if you want to call it that, for a long time, and gave the Democrats a weapon so they can now go after innocent people and make them out to be criminals. Now they're expanding the Capitol Police in 2 different states. They're going to be expanding more field offices. And if you look at my prior episode, this reminds me of the peacekeepers in the Hunger Games. Reporters have discussed their personal experiences in the days immediately following the Capitol insurrection, but few have publicly talked about the lasting effects in the months since. What bravery on their part to come out. I take my hat off to them. The toll that day took on them, the difficulties some have faced returning to the site where they experienced trauma, and what it's been like covering a Congress still deeply divided on the events of the day, Vice News wrote. That's what he sounds like. Sounds like a baby. They're in the most secure building, almost in the world, definitely in the country. They're surrounded by thousands of National Guards, barbed wire, and they don't feel safe? Jesus. Are these people in AOC, are they all the same? I mean, are these cream puffs really in charge of stuff and reporting on things that affect millions of people? Some reporters who were there won't go back into the building. It's safer in the building than outside. It's Washington, D.C., you idiot, one of the murder capitals of the country. A number have sought therapy to deal with the trauma. One longtime Capitol Hill reporter opted for early retirement shortly after living through the riot. Many still aren't sleeping well. Oh, God. Okay. It's okay. Don't cry. It's all right. PBS NewsHour correspondent Lisa Jardins told Vice News, I'm still not sleeping like I used to, even to this day. I became kind of an insomniac. Oh, my God. This is like the drama queens that you saw in high school. Junior high school, well, they call it middle school now, but junior high school, the drama queens. It's unbelievable to me. It really is. It really is incredible to me. I don't get it. I really don't. Are these people lying or exaggerating a little? I'm beginning to wonder because AOC said I stand next to Congressmember Green, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I didn't feel safe because some of the congressional members were armed. You idiot! If you were worried about people coming in and hurting you or killing you, I would ask right up front if I was a congressperson, hey, any of you guys armed? 2 or 3 hands go up. That's who I stand next to, you moron. Because when they come in, if they come after you, which they didn't, but if they come after me, I want a person with a gun next to me. Jardins expressed the harder part is now how emotional lawmakers have been saying it's like when you know your parents are bitterly, abusively fighting and you go into a room and can sense their hostility and can sense nobody's figured out a way out. Oh, my God. Jesus, you got to be kidding me, right? Bloomberg News reporter Eric Wasson compared the aftermath of the traumatizing riot to the end of the Jews when everything felt copacetic on the beach, but you wonder if there's anything out there. You got to be effing kidding me. At the end of Jaws, you know what, make me swear. I promised I wouldn't swear anymore. Wasson told Vice News he experienced symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, short-tempered irritability that led to fights with his wife over nothing. This went on for nearly a month. He'll never be the same. He woke up one day and he was different. An insurgency, you got to be kidding me, right? An insurgency to overthrow the government. And look at the smirk on her face. Nancy Pelosi. What they did was, I know they were frustrated. I know what they were mad. A lot of them are egged down by FBI people in the crowds, but that's beside the point. They still did it. They still did it. And she's smirking because these morons that did that gave her all the weapons she needs and the Democrats need to club over the heads of Republicans. To go after Donald Trump, whether he runs again or not, to go after him about this. A sitting president encouraged people to overthrow the government so he can be dictator. That's what they're going to do. I do remember just feeling unsafe in my house. Austin said, Jesus, you got to be kidding me, right? Let's read on. It occurred to me, like, I wonder if some protesters could be tracking me or could show up at my house. There was definitely a moment of fear and just trying to assess whether there was actually any danger to me or my family. It's okay. It's okay. Don't cry. Well, what kind of lives have these people led? They've never had situations with people that got out of hand. You never got in huge arguments. You never saw a bunch of guys fighting in your life. Where the hell did you grow up? Some rich private school? Jesus, even there. Look, the same things happen. People are people. Teenagers are teenagers. Where the hell these people grow up? I'm talking about Amish farms have, you know what? I mean, where'd you grow up? Despite how any of these journalists covered wars and national disasters, this was different. Yeah, I'll bet. When you're walking through a small town in the Midwest and their entire block is leveled into smashed houses and smashed dreams, bodies laying all over the place, I guess that wasn't as bad as a guy with a red, white, and blue face paint and some Viking horns on and a fur coat. You got to be shitting me. That day, we weren't just observers. We were one of their targets. NBC News political editor Ginger Gibson said, a lot of us reporters were having a tough time with that. They were on the targets of what? If all these people were targets, then the insurgents really suck. They didn't overthrow the government, and they didn't take any of the people they say they wanted to take. They're wandering around the Capitol. I saw the one video where it showed a couple of guys there. One had some blood coming off his forehead, and the security guard says to him, you need some help? He said, no. He said, listen, this is the congressional chamber. This is sacrosanct. You can't mess with it. He goes, don't worry, dude. We have respect for the place. He goes, okay, and he left. That's your insurgency. And the only person that was killed by unnatural causes was an Air Force veteran killed by a Capitol Police cop. Where's all the protests for them? Nanan suggests that January 6th changed how he and other reporters cover lies of lawmakers, particularly those who downplay the events of the Capitol. It was a bunch of people acting stupid. I've seen bar fights that were almost as big as that. The Punchbowl News co-founder went on to regret his coverage of the Tea Party movement after hearing a use of the N-word during the protest. Oh my God. Was he okay? He heard the N-word. We use a lot of euphemisms. That was white rage, and we should have covered it as white rage, and we didn't. We covered it as conservative backlash. They were booing John Lewis, for God's sake. Bresh Hananan told Vice News. Well, what is this guy, Jesus? He's passed away now, rest his soul, but he's not Jesus. Freelance journalist Matt Laszlo expressed how he no longer talks to prominent GOP lawmakers like Florida Rep. Matt Gaetz and Missouri Senator Josh Hawley for their support in challenging the results of the 2020 election, and got emotional about how he no longer wants to be in the Capitol building. What? This, you know what, folks? Here's something that's to scare the hell out of all of you, including the Democrats. This kind of personality, this kind of mentality, these kind of basically pussies who have no backbone, none, they're in charge. They're in charge. Think about that for a minute. It's my office, the building I love most in the effing world. I used to call the Capitol my girlfriend. Maybe because he doesn't have one. I devoted 15 years of my goddamn life to that building, Laszlo said. Now, instead of being there every day, I'm there once a month. I don't want to be there. Oh, maybe in the wrong line of work. Maybe you were in the wrong line of work to begin with. You won't talk to a Republican senator because he thought he voted against some of the states with their electoral votes. Really? While some journalists praise their liberal colleagues for speaking candidly about the distress they have faced since January 6th, others mocked the Vice News report. Of course they mocked it. You're kidding, right? This was laugh out loud funny, conservative author Dinesh D'Souza reacted. Of course it's laugh out loud funny. I'm going to play that too, and I'm going to let it run for a few seconds. Of course it's funny. Get a freaking grip, you bunch of whiny babies, the Federalist co-author Sean Davis told the journalist. Yeah, he's right. Oh, poor things. Oh, my gosh. Some of us have seen real struggle. We've been to the borders. Reporters have been chased down by Antifa and fled the country. Some reporters have been jailed filming rioting. And we don't complain about our trauma. Oh, gosh, they're such soldiers. They're such stand-up Americans. Daily Wire reporter Chrissy Clark wrote, while giving the Daily Caller reporter a shout-out, Kelly, do your flipping job or get out. Yeah, good for you. Good for you, Chrissy. You know, this is exactly the toughest beat in the world doing Capitol Hill. That's the gravy train. Confronting trauma is one of the most valuable human endeavors. Reducing it to a solipsistic exercise, not familiar with that word, for self-improvement, important beltway media personalities is a perversion of that experience. Don't say that sentence twice. The real capital trauma is that which its occupants inflict on our country and the world, liberal journalist Aaron Maté wrote. And there they are. There are the people. There are the people that traumatized the media. The Viking man, the little dorky guy next to him with a Trump hat on and a hooded sweatshirt. The guy in the back, all taking pictures, all with their cell phones. There they are. There is the insurrection. Jesus. I'm going on longer than I should. Some of us have been seeing real struggle, Chrissy Clark said. We've been to the border. Reporters also been chased down by T, fled the country. Some reporters have been jailed filming rioting. We don't complain about a trauma. Timely do your flipping job. Good for you. Reporters who still survived. You mean all of them? Oh, God. It's just amazing to me. We'll just go through. I wish I had thought to write this story. That's Brian Stelter. He wished he had thought to write the story so we could whine about it on his show. And he could get back on the Orange Man Bad bandwagon. Oh, gosh. You know what? It's just amazing to me. It's just amazing to me. Dinesh, you're right. This is laugh out loud funny. I don't even know how. Yeah, I can't say what I want to say because I'll probably get this video taken down. I know 6, 8-year-old girls. They have more nerve than these people. They're little girls. Little girls. I'm going to go back to the shaman. That's what they call him, I think. That's his name now. The Viking shaman or something. Who's in jail and tried to get released. They wouldn't do his thing. He was a flight risk. Where the hell is he going to go? But he'd go to court, though, because he eats organic. And so the judge to prove that. Jesus. Got to be kidding me. I forget where he's from. Who survived the insurrection. All right. We'll say, just for sake of argument, that was an insurrection for real. That was the worst insurrection in human history. It was a bunch of pissed off people that had enough. And those of you that have seen the old movie from the 1970s, please go see it. It's called Network. Because if you see that movie all the way through from the 1970s, you'll go, oh my God. That's exactly what our culture has turned into. And the 1970s was over 40 years ago, folks. 2 generations. And here we are with all these cream puffs and whiners. I got to do it one more time. Here is a new theme song for the journalists that cover Capitol Hill. This is their cry. Oh, it's okay. It's all right. He'll be gone. Yeah, he's got a tattoo of a wall on his arm, I know, and he has Viking horns, and he looks scary, but he's just a nut. And some people died, and it sucks. But where the hell was there being traumatized? How about, you know what was traumatized? The dozens and dozens and dozens of people that died during the rioting last year in all the major cities. And you didn't hear word one. Not word one on any of them. You want to hear traumatized? How would you like to be a business owner? A business owner that's had a store in a major city for 2 or 3 generations in some cases. Some 100 years in the family. Now gone. Completely destroyed, never to come back. That's your livelihood. I had a small business for over 20 years. You put your heart and soul in it. And it just got gutted. And the police stood around and watched. You want to talk about trauma? You want to talk about anxiety? How about the retired police officer who was an older black gentleman trying to help his friend's store out, and they went up behind him and smashed the back of his head in, and he laid on the sidewalk bleeding out? How about the people that are around him and his family? You don't think they have any anxiety? You don't think they're traumatized, but what the hell is our country going into? But they got nothing at all. And this is what the Democrats say to those people whose lives were destroyed forever through the rioting last year and the billions of dollars in damage. This is the Democrats' response to their trauma. And until next time, folks, goodbye and good luck.